I opened my tracking spreadsheet this morning, my heart actually pounding a little bit. I was expecting, or maybe just hoping for, a miracle. I wanted to see a comma in the number. I wanted to see that I had crushed thousands of dollars of debt in the first 3 months of this journey. Instead, I saw the reality. Total debt down, 450. That's it. 90 days of effort, November, December, and January. And the needle barely moved. Honestly, I felt totally deflated. I just wanted to close the laptop and go back to bed. This is my real-time journey, not expert advice. Here is exactly what happened. It's weird how the brain works. Logically, I know that paying off $450 is better than paying off zero. It is objectively better than adding to the debt during the holiday season. But emotionally, it feels like I'm trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. I sat there at my kitchen table, staring at that cell in the spreadsheet, C4 highlighted in yellow, and I felt this heavy wave of shame wash over me. I think the problem was the movie playing in my head. Back in November, when I launched this channel and started the 1% philosophy, I wrote down this aggressive goal. I told myself I was going to pay off $2,000 by the end of January. I had this fantasy montage in my mind where I was navigating the holidays perfectly, saying no to every sale, and throwing huge chunks of cash at my credit card balances before the new year even started. But reality isn't a montage. Reality is messy. Reality is a flat tire right before Christmas. Reality is a New Year's dinner where I didn't want to be the only one drinking tap water. I looked at that $450 number and I just felt slow. I felt like everyone else on financial YouTube is sprinting, paying off $10,000 in a month. And here I am, celebrating a win that feels like a rounding error to them. I almost didn't want to record this update. The shame of underperforming is a real thing. It's that gap between who I want to be, the debt-free hero, and who I actually am right now, which is just a regular person trying to figure this out. I felt like I failed the 1% system. If I was really getting 1% better every day for the last 3 months, shouldn't this number be bigger? Shouldn't I be further along? But sitting in that disappointment isn't going to pay off the next dollar. So I took a breath, drank some water, and decided to actually look at the forensic evidence. I needed to stop feeling and start analyzing. I needed to open the full log and see where that missing $250 actually went. So let's look at the damage. The spreadsheet doesn't lie, even if I want it to. I clicked over to the transaction log tab, the one I've been avoiding since the holidays ended, and the story of the last 90 days was staring me right in the face. It wasn't a mystery anymore. It was simple math. My starting credit card balance back in November was exactly $24,650. My goal was to get that down to $22,650 by today, but the number on the screen says $24,200. First, I had to account for the big hit. I knew this one was coming, but seeing it in black and white still stung. In mid-December, right when money was tightest, my car started making a noise that sounded like a dying blender. I tried to ignore it. Turn up the radio, right? But eventually, I had to take it in. That was $480 I hadn't planned for. In my fantasy version of this journey, I would have had a separate emergency fund for that. But I'm not there yet. I'm building the plane while I'm flying it. So that $480 came straight out of the money I had mentally earmarked for my credit card payment. That one event basically wiped out December's progress. I treaded water for 28 days during the busiest time of the year. But here is the harder truth. The car repair was bad luck, but it wasn't the whole story. The car cost me $480. I missed my goal by 150. That means there is over $1,000 that I just leaked. I started scrolling through January, and honestly, it was embarrassing. It was death by 1,000 cuts. I saw a $14 charge for a streaming service I swear I canceled in November. I didn't. I apparently just thought about canceling it. That's $42 wasted over 3 months. Then there was the I deserve a treat spending. I saw 5 separate charges for the same takeout place in the first 2 weeks of January. This is where I realized what actually happened. When the car repair hit in December, I got discouraged. I felt like the universe was against me. And because I felt like I was losing, I stopped trying as hard in January. I let the what the hell effect take over. You know that feeling? I already blew the budget on the car, so what the hell? I might as well order the pizza. I'm already not going to hit my $2,000 goal, so what the hell? Let's buy the nice shoes. I tracked it. I categorized every single transaction. The I gave up spending in January totaled about $600. That's more than the car repair. That is the part that hurts the most. The mechanic taking my money is one thing. Me taking my own money and setting it on fire because I was sad about the mechanic. That's on me. I also underestimated the holiday tax. I survived Christmas without going into new debt, but I spent roughly $200 on last-minute gifts and dinners that I hadn't budgeted for back in November. I just acted like those expenses wouldn't happen. That was pure delusion. So the autopsy results are in. The patient, my financial goal, didn't die from one big wound. It died from one medium-sized accident, the car, followed by a month of apathy and poor planning. I didn't fail because the math is impossible. I failed because when things got messy, I let go of the steering wheel.
My savings!
Seeing it broken down like this is painful, but it's also kind of a relief. Because $450 isn't nothing. I still fought my way forward. I paid for a car repair and survived the holidays and still chipped away almost $500. The old me would have put that car repair on a credit card and ended the season $1,000 deeper in debt. So the arrow is still pointing down. It's just pointing down very, very slowly. Here is the biggest lesson I'm taking into February, and it's straight out of the 1% philosophy. I realized I was measuring my success by the wrong metric. I was measuring success by perfection, hitting that exact $2,000 target. When I missed it, I felt like a failure. But the 1% system isn't about perfection. It's about durability. The old version of me would have looked at this messy start, felt shame, and completely quit. I would have said, well, I messed up. Might as well go back to spending whatever I want. The fact that I am sitting here recording this and facing the numbers, that is the win. That is the 1% shift in mindset. Paying off $450 isn't a viral headline. It's not going to get 1 million views, but it proves that the system works even when I don't work perfectly. I stumbled, I had an emergency, I had a bad attitude for a month, and I still came out $450 lighter than I was in November. That's resilience. So for the next month, I'm changing my approach. I'm not setting a rigid dollar goal that makes me feel guilty if my car breaks down again. My goal is behavioral. I'm going to focus on catching that what the hell effect the moment it starts. If I have a bad day or an unexpected expense, my 1% goal is just to not let it turn into a bad week. I'm redefining success. Success is staying in the game. I'm looking at that $24,200 balance, and for the first time today, I don't feel shame. I feel determined. I'm still here. I'm still fighting, and slow progress is still progress. My 1% mission for tomorrow is just to move $1 from checking to savings. That's it. Just $1. What's your 1% step? Will you cancel one $5 subscription? Let's share our small wins in the comments below. I am not a financial expert or advisor. This content is for documenting my personal journey and for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions.